Right, I guess, hi everybody, sorry. First time I've ever done this, so yeah, it's a bit strange. Anyway, welcome to my humble kitchen in Norfolk, and it's nice to be with you all. Yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd start by telling you a little bit about myself. So I'm now 57. I run every day. I've recovered from quite a very serious illness actually, and I feel fitter and happier now than really I did in my 20s. Like a lot of people, I'd never even heard of veganism, and the first vegan I met was I don't think she looked terribly healthy, and I thought at the time, I just thought, wow, that's extreme. So I think quite a few of us have been there, but now of course I think it's the only way to be. About 17 years ago, I became very ill. I developed psoriatic arthritis. I couldn't walk properly. I had to like pin step. I was stuck in bed for a whole summer. And yeah, I was in so much pain. It was really awful. And finally, when I got to see a rheumatologist, he put me on a whole load of rather horrible medication. And but I noticed that certain foods seem to be perhaps triggering my pain, my joints and the inflammation. But when I said that to my rheumatologist, he said, oh no, food's got absolutely nothing to do with it. But I wasn't quite so sure. So that kind of set me on a journey to researching diet and how it can affect your health. Eventually I was Googling and I came across the Vegan Society, and after reading what they had to say about how animals are treated and you know, the awful things we do to them, I thought, well, actually I know some of these foods are making my joints flare, and I don't want to be part of that. I've always loved animals, and I just thought I don't want to actually eat them anymore or their products, and so I started the journey to become vegan. And it also, that it kind of started me on the journey for getting better. I seriously think I would be in a wheelchair by now if I hadn't gone down this route. Over the years, I've always loved cooking, experimenting, and a few years ago I decided I was going to have a go at doing a little vegan business. At the time I just thought, I just want to show people that vegan food is fun. It's, you know, whatever carnist people can do, we can do better, and I thought healthier. So I made loads of pies and tarts and all sorts of things like that. And one day I went to Veg Fest in London, and I met a vegan runner, and I thought, I've always wanted to run, and I said to her, I'd love to be able to run, but I can't. And she said, why not? And I said, because my joints are, you know, I'm really frightened of hurting my joints. I told her what I had, and she just said, well, you know, I used to have rheumatoid arthritis, but I went whole food vegan. And I said, what do you mean you used to have it? And she said, well, yeah, I went whole food vegan and now I run marathons. And I said, that's really? But you're on your meds, aren't you? And she went, no, I stopped taking them 10 years ago. And I was like absolutely gobsmacked. I couldn't believe it. I just thought, wow, that is amazing. And she said, well, go home, you have a go, you try it. So I went home and I researched. I thought, wow, that's really hard. I don't know if I can do it. And I can't put my husband through that. So it took me a while to get my head around actually having a go and doing it. And even from being a vegan to being a whole food vegan, I thought it was a big step. You know, because you give up oil, you don't fry things, you give up all the sugar, all those lovely cakes I used to make and things like that. So as a whole food vegan, you eat as many whole foods as possible. So that's whole vegetables with their skin on, whole fruits with their skin on. And if you're eating fruits and veggies like that, it's best if they're organic. But if you can't afford organic, then it's fine. Just eat the fruits and veggies anyway and give them a really good scrub. So no whole grains, all the different, there's so many different grains you can eat. They're really good for you. So no refined grains, so no white flour, no white bread, no white rice, no refined sugars, and no oils, only oils that are naturally within the foods themselves, like the nuts and avocados, seeds, nuts and seeds, really healthy oils. No super processed foods with additives and preservatives in. And for me, and for a lot of whole food vegans who are trying to reverse a disease, no salt as well, or very little added salt. Anyway, so your taste buds change and you learn to cook in a different way. But it doesn't mean you can't have kind of treat foods. In fact, every foods, everything tastes different. Everything tastes, fruits and vegetables taste so much better, more exciting. And, you know, and there are still some like super indulgent foods you can have, but you just make them using different ingredients and with in a different way. So I've cheated a bit because I've got some videos to share with you of me cooking a few different treat foods. So I will start off with one, which is me cooking shrikand, and it's based on an Indian sweet that is a celebration sweet. I think it's served at weddings and things like that. This is a whole food vegan version. So I will share you that if you'll just bear with me just a second. Just forgive the glitches and the mumblings. There we go. Right. Okay, right, I'm going to make some shrikand, which is an Indian dessert. Well, this is my take on it anyway. I found a recipe online and it wasn't vegan, so I veganised it and whole food veganised it. So I actually make my own yogurt using a yogurt maker. I think if you can buy the yogurt in a supermarket and use, say, 2 500 millilitre pots, and they cost about £1.25 to £1.45 normally each. Whereas if I make my own and I use organic plant milk, soy milk I use,
and it costs about £1 per litre, so that's a big saving already. But I use about 1.5 litres in a pot of yoghurt. So I save my starter from the last yoghurt I made. I'll put the PDF online, so if you want to make your own homemade yoghurt, you can follow that. And eventually, the yoghurt maker, which isn't that expensive, it pays for itself, so it's much cheaper. And we use yoghurt in all sorts of things. We have it on our breakfast cereals, on our muesli. We have it. I make dressings and dips from it, so it's really delicious and really useful. So I've already taken my starter for my next yoghurt, and the next thing we do is we take the yoghurt, and now this bit's going to be a bit messy, might be. So take an old towel, but clean, obviously, if you're dealing with food. A tea towel. If you've got muslin, which isn't very expensive actually, but I'm a bit low on muslin, so use that. And then get your yoghurt starter. Now this is the messy bit. You just pour it onto the tea towel muslin, like that, a whole lot. There we go. Yeah. Fold over the tea towel, fold over the towel. Right, and now you need to leave it for a minimum of 2 hours, possibly 3, so that all the kind of fluid is soaked up and you get a kind of curd. When we've done that, I'll show you the next stage. Right, okay, so now we're going to deal with the shrikant, which has had more than 2 hours. And I'm going to go over here and see what's happened. The towel's nice and wet. So there's the tea towel. Yeah, that looks great, actually. So I'll lift it up. And there we go. Bring that over here. And hey, into the bowl, like so. Okay. And I've got here about I think 70 grams of date sugar. Date sugar is just dried pulverised dates, so it's a whole food. I'll squish it up a bit. And I'll just tip that in like that. And also I've got about a teaspoon of cardamom seeds. I love. You want to put more in if you want. Just line them up. Oh, that smells gorgeous. Yum. And then like right, the recipe I saw called for a whole tablespoonful of saffron, which would be pretty blooming expensive. I suppose if it's something special, you might want to use a whole tablespoon of saffron. And you also might want to toast it. This is all the saffron I've got left, so that's all that's going in. It's like a pinch, but there we are. It'll give it a little colour, and I'm not going to taste it either. So, and then I'm just going to mix it up with the date sugar. Wow. Give it a right good mixture in there. Right, I hope my Indian friends aren't upset that I've ruined their beautiful Indian pudding, but anyway, I like it. So the next thing is to yummy. Spread this out and put it in some sort of receptacle, and then it's going to go in fridge for at least a day for the flavours to infuse. And I think that the yogurt culture starts to ferment the sugar in the date sugar, and it actually gives it a kind of really lovely rich taste. So there we go. It's not the neatest. Oopsie, I need to. There we go. So I'm going to put the lid on there. And it's going to go in the fridge until tomorrow. And you can always freeze this. It freezes really well. Sometimes you can. I've frozen it in little individual pots before now, and I think people like to decorate with sliced almonds and things like that. But actually, I'm going to serve this with the pancakes. Okay, in the fridge. There we go. Bye-bye, Shrikant. Bye, Shrikant.
Okay, that's my Shrikant. I actually like messing around with fermented foods. Or sometimes I make kimchi, sauerkraut, fermented cashew cheeses. They're all really good fun to experiment with. So I recommend, if you haven't ever tried doing anything like that, have a go, because it's really fun. And you get that lovely umami taste from the fermented things. I always think that some of the most delicious tasting things, foods, are fermented. That's maybe one of the reasons why people find it so hard to get off cheese. But bread is fermented, alcohol's fermented, so anyway, I have now another recipe to share with you, and this time it's making a coconut lemon cheesecake, which I learned how to cook when I went on a really lovely Indian cooking course with Sharan in London, and learnt to cook a few lovely Indian foods. And this is one of the recipes that they did, so I'm going to share that with you now. So it makes a good celebration pudding for Christmas or what have you. So anyway, so here we go. There we are. There we are. So
now I'm going to show you how to make a coconut lemon cheesecake. And I've already lined a little pan with some greaseproof paper. It's about 9 inches across. So this is 1 cup of almonds going into the processor. Next, we need half a cup of rolled oats and shredded coconut. This is best to use organic coconut because it's still got the fat in it. It's a complete ingredient. Non-organic desiccated coconut has the oil removed, so it's not a whole food. So anyway, here we go. Okay, so that's now turned into some fine crumbs. There we go. Half a cup of the softened dates, so soak them in water for a few minutes and then drain them. Okay, so we'll put that in there. And also at the same time, we want half a teaspoon of vanilla essence. There, in it goes. Okay, and if you want a little salt in there, put a pinch of salt in, but I don't tend to use salt. Oh, yeah. Right, and now that's kind of a lovely, kind of squidgy kind of texture, and that's what we want. So at this point, let's take that off there. And we get our pan. And we pull that in there like so. And get a fork. Sit down. Make a nice I'm going to evenly spread across the bottom. Oh, sticking to the fork. Maybe a spoon might be better. Spoon is better. So now we just put it in the fridge to rest. Next, we're going to make the topping, and we need 2 cups of raw cashews, which have been soaked and softened in just water and then drained. So I'll just pop those in there. And we need the zest from 3 lemons and about 2/3 of a cup of juice. So I'm just going to zest the lemons. Obviously, it's better if you can get hold of organic lemons that are non-waxed as well. And try not to grate your fingers. Oh, smells lovely. I'll pop that in there. Oh, actually, I should be measuring that, shouldn't I? 4. I don't mind about the fleshy bits. After all, it's a whole food vegan recipe. So there we go. And that is. Let's measure that. That is nearly. Well, it's not quite 3/4 of a cup. Hold on, I'll get another lemon. Right, 1 more lemon. Obviously, it depends on how juicy your lemons are as to how many you need. Pulse the cashew nuts. nice and soft. Then we'll put in another ½ cup of soaked dates. There we go. So the dates will soak for about 3/4 of an hour, Okay. At this point, I must remember to put in some vanilla essence. Put in a couple of teaspoons of vanilla essence. Lemon juice. Yep. And we will put in ½ cup of desiccated coconut. So we need 1 cup of plant milk. I'm just using soya because it's all I've got at the minute. But if you want to be super indulgent, you can use coconut milk. There we go. Another whiz for a minute or two. Right, there we are. That looks absolutely brilliant. Take out your base from the fridge. Oh, there we go. Hope you can see that. And we're going to pour it into the base. This bit out. There we go. And scrape out as much as you can. And just spread that nice and evenly across the base. Right. Yummy. And then just put it in the fridge for a couple of hours just to set. And when you want to serve it, you can put a bit of, or whatever you like on the top. You can put fruit on the top, or you can put lemon zest, coconut, sprinkled coconut. And then the best bit is picking out the bowl. Yummy.
I'm afraid that's all been eaten. It was absolutely delicious. So I hope you have a go at making it if you haven't already made something like it. And the coconut and the lemon and the vanilla all go together really well. I never thought they would. I'd never thought of having that combination before, but actually it's absolutely fantastic. So I have another video to share with you. I made some bliss balls. There's quite a few different versions around, but this is one that I particularly like, and it's great for you know, they're great for taking out and about with you. A good sort of energy food. So I will share that with you now.
Right, now I'm going to show you how to make some bliss balls. They're really easy, but ideally you need a food processor. This one here is over 10 years old. If you're whole food vegan, it's really a good idea to have one. They're so versatile. You can buy any spare parts if you need a new blade or something like that. So, you know, anyway. So the first thing you want to do is chop up some prunes and some dates, and measure. It's easier if you just measure everything out. So, and the first thing is to put some almonds in. There's 150 grams of almonds. I'm sorry, it's going to make a bit of a noise, and then we just pulse the almonds to break them down a bit. Oh, at least we would if it was on. I'll just turn it on. Oopsie. Sorry about that. Okay. The next thing we want to do is put in about 320 grams of chopped dates. So there we go. 320 grams of chopped prunes. And then after that, we pop in 100 grams of walnuts. And then some mixed seeds. I've got pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds are good in here. And that's about 180 grams of those. There you go. About 30 grams of desiccated coconut. So as you can see, it's a nice sort of crumbly texture. And then we're going to put some cacao in. But at this point, you can always put in, say, grated orange zest, or other sort of flavourings if you want to go in there. And you can mix and match the nuts and the seeds as well. They don't have to be the exact nuts that I've put in. The last thing to go in is the raw cacao. There we go. That is about 30 grams. Okay, so I'm going to stick it in a bowl. It's the easiest thing to do. Okay, I've transferred it to a bowl. And the next thing we want to do is to turn it into little balls. So take some, scrunch it up. I normally do them about 25 grams. Let's turn my little measuring scales on. Oh, no, I don't in fact do it 25 grams. Let's do it about. I normally do it about 50 grams. Oh, there we are. It's a while since I've made these. So kind of squish them up. And get something like sesame seeds. Roll them. There we go. Ta-da! One little amiga ball. Again. Can say put them on a plate. Have a plate. There we go. Right, let's do another one. You can coat them in cacao, chocolate, carob, chopped nuts, coconut. Put them together. See all the, I think that must be the oil out of the nuts. And then let's put this one like so. These are great if you've been out, if you're going out running or cycling or picnics. They're got a lovely energy boost. They are delicious and they're also really healthy. There's nothing bad in there at all. And they're also much cheaper than the ones you buy in the shops. And of course, the ones you buy in the shops, they've got other stuff in there which isn't necessarily so great. Oops, that'll do. And then I won't make you watch all these.
No, well, I'm moving the camera around, Mum.
But
With the camera lady.
okay. Another thing you can do is these make make nice presents. So you could put them in one of these little bags, have a few in there, tie it up with a bit of ribbon. That makes a really nice present. So there you go. Let's get on and make the rest of these.
Okay, so yeah, we make those all the time. They're really easy peasy, and as I said, you can swap in other sorts of nuts and seeds to change the flavour. Hazelnuts are lovely, actually. Right, I'm going to hop on quickly onto my next video so that I have time at the end. I've got one or two other things to talk about, but I shall just. The next thing is pancakes, and so I've got this recipe is based on one that I got from Ida, who is my fellow patient advocate for plant-based health professionals. Please have a look at the website there and think about joining if you want to. Lots of great info on there. So right, here we go. So yep.
Now I'm going to show you how to make some drop scones. I'd like to thank Ida, who's one of my fellow plant-based health professionals, patient advocates for this recipe, although I've changed it very slightly. Right, so this is a no oil pancake recipe. And first of all, we want to get some oats, rolled oats, about 100 grams of those. And I'm going to mix it all up in this. You don't have to, but it's quick and easy. That's all. So, being lazy, we are. A bit of a blast in there. Right, a couple of bananas for sweetness. And I think their consistency helps hold them together as well. There we go, put them in there. Doesn't matter if they're a bit bruised. It's a good way to use up bruised bananas. Banana bread and banana cakes also really good. Doesn't matter what they look like when they're in there. No one can tell. And of course, they're really lovely and sweet by then, aren't they? So, okay. Then I'm going to put in tablespoons of wholemeal flour, spelt flour, and I'm going to also put in a teaspoon of raising agent, so that you've got carbon soda. You can use baking powder if that's what you've got. It does the same thing really. Okay, and then I'll just give it a quick whisk before I put the oyster in. Okay. And you can also put salt in here if you like, although we don't tend to add salt to things. You put cinnamon in here as well. I've tried making them chocolatey, but they don't turn out that great. So I think playing with, say, some chocolate sauce on, make hot chocolate sauce, that's a good one. I've got a pan on the hob, just warming through at the minute. It's a ceramic pan, but I believe that stainless steel pans will work just as well. I don't fry in oil, so you can put dried fruit in if you like, sultanas, raisins, whatever you like. So cinnamon in here is lovely. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go over to the pan now. Splash a little water. Yeah, that's nice and sizzly. But you don't want it too hot because it will burn the bottom of the drop scones, pancakes before they've had a chance to cook through. So I've got my electric hob on just over 2. You know, I hope you like my 1980s Wallace and Gromit cooker. It was 20 quid from the local auction. So, there we go, 1. Try and get them into a little space. They don't stick together. I'll fit another one in there, I think. There we go. So you just want to cook them really until they've kind of lost their gloopiness on the top and they look like they're cooked through. So there's a few bubbles coming through from the raising agent there. Looking like proper drop scones. So they seem to have started losing their shininess. They seem to be cooked all the way through. And they're well stuck on. So this is where we need our spatula to start prising them up with a bit of luck. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, yes, coming up. Hooray! Result to do. Right, so we just let them cook a little bit on that side. Hope they don't stick on the other side now. Brilliant. Sticking a wee bit. Well, if they do, they do. Part of the game. Yay! Right. Stuck a wee bit. I might just Okay, so straight on the next lot. Cooking away nicely. See the little air bubbles coming. These are cherries are out of my freezer. You could use any fruit at all. I just thought it'd be nice to have a fruit kind of sauce to go with them. So all that is, I'm putting them on the hob here, put them in there, and then some organic date sugar again. Dates actually. Could use dates. Yeah, shall we use dates? No, let's use the date sugar. Right, we'll just warm that up. Let's put in as much taste, really. In the meantime, I need to prize these up. There we go. Don't worry if you do them and they stick. Sometimes they get temperamental, but I think just to try and make sure you've actually kind of cooked them all the way through, and you haven't got the heat up too high. Ooh, I love cinnamon, so I'm just going to put a little heapy spoon in there. I'll just taste the fruit just to see how sweet it is in a bit. Here we are, these ones are done. Okay, add some more. Yummy actually. Right, I'm just going to use this hand blender to mix up blend up the cherries to make a really nice cherry sauce. There we are. Got the odd cherry in there still, I think, but that's fine. That is delicious. Okay, so pancakes are done. I've got the shrink hand out, and I'm going to give this a little stir. So, if you can see, there's like little the yellow bits, which is the saffron. So just to stir that in. Oh, it's going a lovely yellow colour. And of course it's a slightly yellow colour because of the date sugar that's in it as well. I'll just infuse or kind of stir through the flavours of the saffron and the lemon. Beautiful. I've got the hot cherry sauce here. I suppose I could have made it a bit thinner if I wanted. And it could be any sort, any fruit sauce is nice. Apple, apricot, pancakes. On one side, on the other. Then a little bit of pecant. And some hot chili sauce. There we go. Yummy. Hold on, I'll bring you over. Pancakes. Pudding. I think I'm going to have to try it. Yummy. That is nice. Okay. Dropping it now. There we are. And you can have a go too.
Right, I hope you enjoyed that. Not quite as much as I did, but even so. Apparently, I'm just getting messages here. Thank you, John Taylor, who thinks I should have my own TV show. Perhaps not. And I can see, thanks, Layla, Amanda, Raj, hello, Plant-Based Health Professionals UK, Richard, Sarah, Fiona, Johnny. Thank you so much for saying nice things. I can't see the comments, but thank you. So anyway, that was a lot of fun, and apparently we've reached the £1,000 mark. Well done. Thank you so much for donating money to the animal charities. It's what it's all about, and it's an honour to be asked to help out on this. I've never done anything like this before, and I'll probably never do it again, but anyway, it's been quite fun. But just before the end, I've got 5 minutes, I think. I just thought I would tell you a little bit about what we've been eating a lot of, which is weeds. And we have quite a scruffy garden, and we have and I've been kind of learning about all the different things, especially the wild plants that you can eat and make a fantastic salad. So I've got a few things here behind, a mixture of and early in the spring is kind of a hungry gap. It's before, if you do grow vegetables, it's before anything's really grown enough to eat. So perennials, things that survive from the year before and perhaps grow each year, they come into growth quicker, and you can start picking them quicker. And there's an awful lot of things that you can eat. So let's see what we've got. There's a few kind of strange things. Well, there's nettles in here, which, although I wouldn't advise putting them in the salad, you can cook with them, and they're really rich and high in iron, and great in soups and stews and all sorts. There's cleavers, which is that sticky plant. I wouldn't eat I'd just kind of pick the tops off, and I think they're better cooked. Dandelions, the leaves, you can eat the roots as well, chop them up. And the flowers, just pull the petals, and they look really pretty on a salad. This is lilac, what's left of the lilac. The flowers are great on salad. This is pot marigold, which is really, it seeds itself all over the place and makes a really pretty salad topping. all those lovely yellow flowers. If you do grow your own vegetables, don't be too quick to dig up your cabbages and things, because when they, you know, you can eat all the flowers and things on them. So that's good. This is, oopsie, this is a small leafed lime, which is a tree, but you can eat the leaves, and they are slightly lime tasting as well. And you put them in a salad. Chickweed, which I believe this isn't a bit of a scruffy bit, needed watering really, but it was brought here by the Romans apparently, and you know, you can just put that in a salad. This is, you might have this growing in your garden if you have a garden. It's called Jupiter's beard or valerian. And you just pick the tops, but it's delicious in a salad. This is the flowers, you might recognise that. Very pretty, and of course these will just pick off and sprinkle on a salad. That's really nice. What else have we got? Oh yeah, look, this is lovely. This is actually an edible chrysanthemum. You can kind of put the petals in in a salad, but it's the leaves really that you eat. So I'm losing things here. Oh, and there's all sort of the onion family. There's a whole load of different onions. This one is actually an Egyptian walking onion. And the interesting thing about this, why it's called a walking onion, is at the top of this bit here, it forms the bulbules of an onion, which you would normally expect, you know, to grow from the roots. But they form on the top here. And then later on in the season, this all kind of dies back, folds over, and then plants itself in the soil. So that's an interesting one. I'm just thinking, what else have we got? Oh yeah, so this is the flowers of bladder campion, and the leaves of this are around at the minute, and they are delicious in a salad as well. And that's a weed, that's another weed. Oh, and I must tell you quickly, those who don't know this plant here, this is Jack by the hedge, otherwise known as hedge garlic or hedge mustard, and it's fabulous in the salad. It grows really early in the season, and at the minute it's actually tasting very strong, so I can see why it's called hedge mustard, because it is very mustardy, but it's kind of milder and a more garlic taste earlier on in the season. Oh, there's another. This is a good one to have growing in your garden. It's sweet sizzly. It's a herb. The leaves are great in a salad. You can, you know, use lovely big bunches of the leaves in a salad. But also, if you have rhubarb, chop the leaves, put them in with your rhubarb, and it takes away the tartness if you cook it in with the rhubarb. So, I mean, I don't have any sugar in my rhubarb. We just use a bit of this. You might, you know, you might still feel like you need some sort of sweetener in there if you're not used to it, but your taste buds do change and you do get used to it. But this is a great herb. Yes, so salads or cooking in with other things. What else? Oh, I don't know, we've got loads. Salad bonnet, comfrey. This is a Russian comfrey. You can eat it. It's very sort of hairy, so I don't suggest you put it in salads, but cooked is absolutely fine. Anyway, I do believe we are going to run out of time very, very soon. So I'm just sort of saying, don't just stick to lettuce, boring old lettuce and cucumber. There's a whole load of exciting things to try out there. I mean, have your lettuce and cucumber as well, but you know, try some of these other things as well. You can go out, if you haven't got a garden, you can go and forage in your local parks and things, but just be careful not to, just be careful that no one's sprayed there, or dogs haven't peed there or anything like that. So anyway, I'd just like to say thank you, and yeah, anyway, so good luck with, oh dear, cats. Anyway, all right, lovely, thank you very much. Nice to talk to you. Cheerio, bye.